Hello, Abigail here with the Tarotscopes for Virgo season, Scorpio sun, moon, and rising. All right, my Scorpio folks, we have eclipse season here. If you want to know more about that, you can check out my astrology for Virgo season. I will link it below. But it is important to know that we're heading into it. We do, however, have an initial Virgo new moon, which is going to be a really nice window into what we can and cannot do during eclipse season. So you can also check out that video as well, because that'll be posted on 21st or 22nd. But yeah, this is an interesting eclipse season. A lot of the cards I'm getting are about deep interpersonal change and shifts and dynamics. And sorry, my dog's choking. Reggie, okay, baby? Okay, lover? He has a collapsed trachea, and so when he drinks water, he gets a little choky. Baby, okay? Yeah, poor baby. Anyways, back on track. So yeah, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be an intense Virgo season, so know that. But there's a lot to be found, and I think there's a lot of exciting stuff for Scorpios specifically. Also, during this season, you get Mars heading into its favorite place, which is Scorpio. Now, it does go into Scorpio right before we go into Libra season, but we have that to look forward to. Mars, after a long sojourn in a lot of places where it's not super happy to be, aka Cancer and Libra, where it is now currently, is about to head into its domicile. So Libra season and Scorpio season are going to have a really nice moment with Mars. So hang on to that as a bit of hope. But getting into your cards, we start off with the sun. And this is interesting because I've been getting this across several readings. This season, this eclipse season, is really a homecoming for a lot of people. It is a reconnection with the self and a recommitting to some really beautiful things. For Scorpios, if you are a Scorpio rising, this is on the 5th, 11th axis, if I'm doing this correctly. And so this is a moment of creativity and joy and connection to others for you. And it is going to be chaotic, and we do have some cards that are a little sad, but there is a sense that this energy is going to feel good, and it's going to create a lot of change and a lot of growth for you, and it's going to open a lot of doors, which feels like a good thing. But I would think kind of my initial take from these cards is that it's time to really invest in being the Scorpio of it all, into enjoying who you are and what you want and what you need. A lot of my Scorpios are a little offbeat, see things a bit differently, experience things like desire and connection in a way that's a little more nuanced than some of the other signs. And this is that season to explore and enjoy that and maybe discover something new about you and what you need. Part of the reason I say this is because we have the Fool, our bestie. This is also a reminder that Uranus is in Gemini and it's really fresh. It is going to station retrograde in Virgo season and head back into Taurus until next year, over the fall. But we really do get to have this feeling of expansion and change in this eclipse season, especially when it comes to your desires and your values and kind of what you want to project into the future. So buckle up. A lot of things are changing. I also wonder if in eclipse season, for some of you, you aren't just going to have a complete turnaround in your life. Like, you think you're going one direction. By the time we get out of Virgo season, you're like, well, it's completely new and different. Because we also have, not only do we have the sun and this Fool, which is stepping out into new things, but we have the 7 of Cups, which Libra also got. By the way, Libra got a lot of similar cards, so maybe go check them out as well if you're feeling called, if you want to watch more of me. But we have the 7 of Elixirs. You're getting to make choices and you're getting to make decisions, and they're not going to be clear, and you're not going to know which one's right. And that's kind of what you're being taught in this eclipse season. It is a bit of, having to trudge through the dark and listen to your other senses in order to become more connected with who you are and what you want. You're not going to get to see what's at the end of the road. And now, obviously, none of us get to see what's at the end of the road, but sometimes there's kind of an obvious trajectory for certain things like career or decisions. Nothing is clear. You have many choices. You get to do what you want, but also not get to do what you want. Because not only are we doing this kind of physical work during eclipse season, we are also going to be experiencing a lot of karmic work. And so I do think this Seven of Cups, the Fool, the Sun, are also about you stepping off into new karmic paths. And a part of that is you having to decide to not do certain things. You having to say, this cycle is done and that cycle is done. I'm not participating in this. I want better for my soul moving forward than this thing that I seem to keep repeating over and over again through multiple lifetimes. And if you're curious to know, like, how can I know that something is like this life pattern or that life pattern? Well, they all interplay and neither one is more important. But if you have something that just keeps happening and there really doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason, like you end up in the same job with the same reactions from people, and it's like you're meeting doppelgangers of the same archetypes in every place you've been, and you keep dating the same people, that's past life pattern, where it just doesn't really make sense in the context of this lifetime. And you're like, okay, what do I do now? And then I would suggest past life rectification. But this is about you stepping on a new path, making different choices, believing in yourself, moving into a more unconventional way of existing and living and belief. And I also wonder if some of you aren't going through some really deep spiritual changes around belief and around how you kind of structure your life in the context of spirituality. Which I think is really beautiful and something you should really lean into. Sometimes eclipse seasons come and the cards are really external, but the cards this season are very internal, which speaks a lot to kind of the energy of Virgo and Pisces. It is very internal. Those signs are this kind of internal maelstrom. Um, so buckle down on the inner work because the outer stuff is going to change anyways. The universe has already got a handle on that, but you are responsible for changing your personal trajectory, and that is what these eclipses are about. And then we have this beautiful Queen of Coins. It's time to believe. It is time to believe in what you possess. It is time to believe in who you are and what you deserve. It is time to believe that you are valuable and that you are someone who is more than worthy of all the good things that exist in this world. And I'm not saying that you have low self-esteem or you don't believe in yourself, but I am saying that you deserve more. And the Queen of Pentacles knows that. And no, maybe there's not like external stuff you can do to get more now. But this is a moment of belief, of delusion, a little bit of delusion, especially with that Seven of Cups, of believing in something that doesn't exist, believing that there's more than enough energy. A lot of the work of capitalism and this system that we are in is to force people into spiritual boxes where liberation isn't possible, according to them. And this is a moment, and abundance isn't possible according to them. And if you share with someone, you're never going to get it back, which is not true. And that other people are out for what they can get, blah, 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 which says more about them than you. This is the time to change that. This is the time to shift your perspective on others and on yourself and on society, and to believe that human rights are human rights. You deserve housing, clothing, roof over your head, food, water, a world that is beautiful and fresh and not completely polluted by the wealthy. So dig deep into that. Dig deep into what you deserve as a soul existing. And also have some fun. I'm going to kind of get the message and not to stereotype you, my dears, but enjoy something spooky. I also think with this card specifically is for someone who watches this video. I don't get a lot of views, but whoever you are, there is an ancestor reaching out to you who has a lot of earth energy and a lot of femme energy. Whoever you are, they're waiting for you. And you'll know who you are. Sorry, that's just a little message from spirit. And then last but not least, we do have a 5 of coins. You are going to be disappointed. Some stuff is going to die in eclipse season. The bright side is it was already diseased. It was already on its way out. You just may not have been aware of it. And this is your opportunity in eclipse season to grieve what didn't work out. Maybe it's a project, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a career path or a dream. you're just not going to get what you invested out of it, and it's going to pass away. And this is not to be like, be worried. What is meant to be will stay. The eclipses don't take anything that wasn't going to be out the door in the first place. But understand that there is some disappointment in this eclipse season. And I think the antidote to that is really centering in on yourself and what you deserve and what you desire and all of the good things that are going to happen because you deserve them to happen. And because you have done the work and because you are thoughtful and caring and understanding. And this is a message that I have been sharing a lot. Spirit and ancestors and deities and the energetic world has been really loud for a while now. But specifically in 2025, I have so many people that I meet where spirit is like, I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to them. I need to talk to them. We need a relationship. Deities are finding their followers. Um, Ancestors are seeking out their offspring and their blood connections and also their spiritual connections because they don't have to be blood tied to be in an ancestor relationship to someone. So I encourage you in the eclipses moving into spooky season to connect with spirit, to really dig into the Scorpio of it all, my Scorpios, and to cultivate whatever spiritual practice is meant for you. Anyways, my loves, that is my message for Virgo season. Please like and subscribe if this was helpful. If you have any questions, you can DM me. You can pop a comment. But yeah, you know where to find me. I wish you all a blessed Virgo season and be diving into spirituality for those of you who are ready.